Well, it's that time of the year again where Gaijin is looking at making changes to the economy and the entire player base basically flips a coin and holds its breath. So let's see what they are doing this time, shall we? So it looks like there's a couple of big changes coming in the planned economy update for July. Some of them look interesting, some of them look vaguely concerning, and some of them look somewhat hopeful for us anyway in the sim area. There are some changes that are affecting the other parts of the game as well. It looks like there's going to be some significant hits coming to people that leave tank RB games after only just one death due to the way that the activity is being calculated. But what I'm interested in, being primarily a sim player, is the rewards for useful actions in Aviation SB mode. So let's hop over and have a look at that specific thread, because they've actually made a separate thread for this, which is quite nice. So basically what they're doing now is they're going to be calculating rewards. A lot of the rewards are going to be based off useful actions, I say in air quotes. And these will essentially be calculated into the reward payout in 15-minute windows. So basically you need to be doing stuff every 15 minutes to be scoring higher activity for that period of time. So if you don't do anything for that period of time, you don't get as much. So that can be both good and bad, considering a lot of sim games involve you just flying around not doing much. That does leave me a bit concerned, but we'll just have to see how that goes. Now, changes will also be affecting the mechanics of deferred rewards when landing at the airfield, so instead of being the old 50-50 split, it's going to be a 20-80 split instead. Which I think is a bit more fair, especially towards people that take more of a combat pilot role rather than a bombing role. I think that's a good change. Now, the final rewards for Silver Lions will be increased by 30%. However, at the same time, they are removing the 50% discount on revival from the repair price, which means we'll be paying full repair costs in Sim whenever we choose to spawn in an aircraft. With the current repair costs that we have on certain jets in the game, that is a terrifying prospect, and hopefully that's going to be updated so that, they change repair costs, because, there are some things where it's ludicrous to spawn. It's like, 40,000 just to spawn in the F-11, for example. That isn't even a top-tier jet, It's an EC6 jet. It's got a 40,000 repair cost. You'll need to get 4 or 5 kills just to break even in that. So if you take off in this after paying 40 grand and somebody airfield strafes you or something like that, then tough shit. Now, instead of just pushing these updates out to the live server, which is something that Gaijin usually does, is they've actually created a couple of test events for the sim battles. So they've made one in Afghanistan for EC6, so for jets, and they've made one in Sicily for EC2, which is 23233. And the results coming in for EC6 look positive. It looks like the overall Silver Lion earnings and RP earnings are a bit higher than what they were previously, which is good. However, what is concerning is the earnings for EC2 are significantly lower, in terms of Silver Lions especially. There were times when in EC2 games I could earn over 100,000 Silver Lions by getting, lots of good kills. And I've had people send through screenshots where they've gotten, a decent amount of kills in a game, and they've only pulled in 30,000, 40,000 Silver Lions top. So it sounds like with this new economy change, Gaijin is tiering the rewards. So, you would get more rewards in the higher tier games versus lower tier games. But I don't think that's particularly fair on people that do exceedingly well. I mean, it's an overall bonus for people that, are average. Like, I'm average half the time. Like, you guys see me with these good games, but that's because I only record the good stuff. But I think it's going to upset a lot of people because, if you do really well in games, then you should be rewarded more for that. It feels like they've put in a hard cap on the limit of rewards. So, like, on average, the rewards are being increased by a bit, but they are then sticking in a hard cap so that if you do a really good game, like, say, if you get, 10, 15 kills, you're still only going to get the same sort of rewards as you would for maybe 7 or 8 kills, which, in my opinion, is not a good way about doing this. It's not good at all. I guess time will tell on this as to what's actually going to happen. They're testing these rewards for a couple of days. They said they might end the testing earlier if they need to. probably in case people get too angry about it. But I imagine this will last for the 4-day testing, well, the 3.5-day testing period they're putting it out for. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this. I don't think they'll stick it out exactly how it is now. I think there are going to be some tweaks made. I hope there are some tweaks made, especially to the lower tier sim games, because if they're going to be nerfing the rewards that hard for props, I can see that pushing a lot of players away over to playing IL-2. I know a lot of people that are already starting to play IL-2 more because they just don't find lower tier games in War Thunder rewarding anymore. So that is a big concern for me. It's a good improvement for people that like to play the higher tiers like Jets and stuff. I think you know, provided that they fix whatever they're going to be fixing when it comes to repair costs and adjusting that so that people aren't paying ludicrous amounts. But time will tell. That's all I can say. Time will tell. I'm vaguely optimistic, but I'm also not holding my breath. But let me know what you think in the comments below anyway.